Well, hello, YouTube. It is I, TrainMaxer Reloaded, and I think I got this figured out. I think I figured out how to share my screen here. So we're going to give it a try. There's this article that I heard about that I've been kind of bouncing around the manosphere this week, talking about this lady who decided to stab her boyfriend to death, and well, she's only having to do community service and probation for that. So I want to talk about that. Much to my surprise, in Googling CA woman gets probation, I found three or four other stories that I think we're also going to cover that are similar. So I know Hammerhand's live on Rumble. That's probably where a lot of people are right now. Tried to listen to it, but my internet on my phone's being kind of gay. Bullshit. Anyway, let's see here. Present. Share screen. Here we go. California audiologist who stabbed boyfriend 108 times in quote-unquote cannabis-induced psychosis gets a slap on the wrist. This is on, what is this? New York Post. All right, published January 24. All right, Richard Polina. Let's see here. The California woman who was convicted of killing her boyfriend by stabbing him 108 times during a quote-unquote cannabis-induced psychosis received a slap on the wrist Tuesday. Bjorn Schweitz? What the hell kind of a name is this? Is this Byron? Is this Bjorn? What is this? Schweitz? Huh? Whatever. 33 was sentenced to 2 years probation and ordered to perform 100 hours of community service after being found guilty of killing her new boyfriend, Chad O'Melia. Chad. So to all you black pillars out there that say, oh, I'm not Chad, I can't get a girlfriend. Okay, being Chad doesn't prevent you from getting stabbed 108 times. Okay? So, careful what you wish for. Ventura County Superior Court Judge David Worley ruled that whatever this chick's name is had no control over her actions. Oh, really? When she entered into a psychotic episode and stabbed O'Melia, 26, repeatedly in his Thousand Oaks apartment May 28, 2018. Really? She had no control over her actions, huh? Experts for the prosecution and defense both found that the marijuana bong hit given to the female in question here, because I cannot pronounce this last name to save my freaking life, threw the woman into a deadly psychotic episode. Really, from a bong hit. Really. From that point forward, she had no control over her actions, Worley said, according to the outlet. That's the subject. Brian, I don't know. December 2023, found guilty December 2023 of involuntary manslaughter for killing her boyfriend, Chad O'Melia, May 2018. They had been seeing each other for a few weeks before she brutally murdered the 26-year-old accountant. Law enforcement found the woman covered in blood, hysterically crying next to her boyfriend's body, still gripping the knife. Then she plunged the knife into her own throat while the police attempted to disarm her. So she yeeted him. She yeeted Chad here. Then she tried to yeet herself when the cops tried to arrest her. He had only been seeing her for a few weeks before she killed him after smoking pot at his apartment. The subject, we'll just say, who turned 33 last Thursday, also stabbed her dog. Oh, poor doggy. During the rampage, according to the outlet. Amelia was pronounced dead at the scene. Her lawyers had argued that their client, who was an inexperienced pot smoker, became involuntarily intoxicated at the time after killing Amelia. And at the time of the killing, after Amelia had pressed her to take another bong hit after not getting high off the first hit, the outlet reported in December. Okay, so you had no control over your actions because you took a second hit? Because you didn't get high off the first hit? This is messed up, man. This is freaking messed up. There's the subject in question. Wait, November 9, 2023? I thought the murder was in December. Oh, found guilty in December. Okay. It was like the timeline wasn't adding up there. Jurors took less than 4 hours to find the subject guilty of involuntary manslaughter during her case, December 2023. She had an immediate adverse reaction to the second hit and had to go to the bathroom in a panic before carrying out the killing. Under California law, a person is seen as responsible for their actions when impaired by drugs or alcohol unless their intoxication is involuntary. Okay. Could she have said no? Could she have refused to take the second hit? Who could have? So we're blaming the dude here for his own death. We're saying that it's his fault because, he pressured her. She couldn't have said no. Really? She has no responsibility to say no over what she's ingesting in her body? Really? Okay. Jurors took less than 4 hours to find the subject guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Can you imagine if this was reversed? If this whole situation, if it was him that had killed her? Can you imagine this? If the roles were reversed, you know what would happen. They'd put him under the freaking jail. You know, they'd be calling for the death penalty again. Even here in California, they'd be saying, this is totally unacceptable. Oh, how dare you? Oh, we're gonna bring the death penalty back. Just for you, Chad. Just for you. Blah, blah, blah. Sobbed in court as she apologized to the father of the victim. Yeah, your apology doesn't mean much. Well, her family members are hugging outside the courthouse. Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that freaking sweet? After she's only being sentenced to community freaking service and probation, people. Community freaking service and probation. Get out of the way. My actions have ripped your family apart, she said, according to the outlet. I am broken and aching inside. I am hurt that you will never see Chad again. The subject, who was painted by the prosecution as a party girl who just wanted to get high the night she killed Amelia, was portrayed in a different light by her father during the sentencing hearing. She has worked her whole life helping others, says her father, Mike, who has also made a note of his daughter's hearing impairment and her work as a licensed audiologist before the killing. His father, that is Chad Amelia's father, Sean Amelia, accused Worley of being biased in his ruling. I wonder why you'd say that. We just read that. Claimed that, Chad Amelia's father, Sean, accused Worley of being biased and claimed following his ruling that the judge set a dangerous precedent. Yeah, you think? He just gave everyone in the state of California who smokes marijuana a license to kill someone, the grieving father said. There is no winner in this strategy, said Brandon Amelia, the victim's uncle. There can be, however, accountability. Yeah, that word right there. That's kind of their kryptonite, isn't it? Her lawyer, Bob Schwartz, called Worley's ruling against his client the right and courageous things. Got a weird ad. Alright, that looks like all of it. That looks like the rest of the story. It's ads. It's probably the bottom of it. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that if you smoked a little marijuana and you decided to go hockey mask time on your chick, you think that you'd only get a slap on the wrist? 108 hours. No, 108 slashes with a knife. And then killing her dog and then attacking herself. That's where the blood came from her boyfriend and the dog. And she gets a little slap on the wrist. 100 hours of community service. Like, are you freaking kidding me? 100 hours of community service. Like I said, if the roles were reversed on that, you know they'd be putting him under the jail. You know it. Ridiculous, man. Alright. I think that's about all for that story. Well, my internet's being kind of gay. What are we doing? Quit being fake and gay here. The internet is fake and gay! Alright. So, in looking for that, I did find a few other stories. Alright, here we go. Very similar story, in a way. This came up when I was searching for that last story. Woman gets probation for stabbing in 2021. Anti-science juice protest melee at LAPD headquarters. A protest against vaccine mandates turned into a brawl August 2021 outside LAPD headquarters downtown. This is LA Times, LosAngelesTimes.com. A Long Beach woman arrested in a stabbing that took place during an anti-Charlie 19 protest turned street fight outside of Los Angeles Police Headquarters in 2021 will receive probation. Probation, gentlemen. Probation. Under the terms of a plea deal reached last week, according to the district attorney's office. Nina Cohen, 32. Oh, another early 30s. Another early 30s chick getting probation. She did no contest due to 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon and will be placed on probation for 2 years if she completes a community service and anger management regimen over the next year. According to Vinus Naveed, a spokeswoman for the district attorney's office. Cohen was also ordered to stay away from the victim, who has not been publicly identified. The victim suffered a lacerated heart and a punctured lung, according to police, and could be seen bleeding profusely in the street during the melee. Cohen was one of dozens of protesters involved in a chaotic brawl that erupted in downtown LA in August 2021. Hundreds of people opposed city ordinances requiring masks or proof of taking the science juice to enter businesses descended on City Hall. Protest became a melting pot of, well, get this, fringe right-wing causes. Okay. You think you got a little bias there? You think? Law enforcement sources and extremism researchers previously told the Times several members of the Proud Boys were in attendance. Okay. While some of the demonstrators could be seen holding signs touting conspiracy theories about vaccines. Funny how it's only a conspiracy theory if it goes against what the government, our corporate overlords, what they want to do. It's only a conspiracy theory. Then, interesting. Protests descended into violence when some of the anti-science juice demonstrators crossed the street to confront a group of black-clad counter-demonstrators Video posted online at the time showed a group of young skateboarders claiming they had been threatened by anti-science juice protesters. When a counter-protester challenged the person pointed out by the skateboarders, that person violently shoved the counter-protester. Okay. Melee soon erupted. Video from the scene showed members of the anti-science juice crowd screaming F Antifa and unmask them all, and swinging water bottles at the heads of the other group. Other footage captured a counter-protester, later identified as Cohen, swinging a knife at the anti-vaccination demonstrators. Counter-protesters previously told the Times that a member of their group was also stabbed, but that person refused to cooperate with police, so LAPD never made an arrest in that case. Frank Soltze, I'm not sure, a reporter for KPCC, the public radio station now branded as LAist. That's kind of a weird name, but whatever. Was also pushed and kicked by several members of the anti-juice group that day. Police say he declined to file a report. Well, why didn't you file a report if you're claiming this now? You can't expect the police to prosecute somebody if you aren't willing to cooperate with them. I mean, this is not hard. You get attacked, have something happen to you, you got to cooperate with the police if you actually want them to do something. Just coming out later to the newspaper and saying, oh, well, something such and such happened to me. Okay. I mean, seriously, it's like, what are the police supposed to do about it if you don't freaking cooperate with them at all? Aftermath of the brawl, LAPD received heavy criticism for its response, while the department has routinely shut down protests around left-leaning causes that were far less violent. Yeah, mostly peaceful protests, huh? Officers downtown that day did little to separate the groups as they were squaring off to fight. Even after the stabbing, police did not declare an unlawful assembly. LAPD Chief Michael Moore. Really, I thought he was a documentarian guy. I didn't realize he was a police officer now. That's a funny name. Probably unrelated. My guess would be unrelated. Told the Times in 2021 that he had no knowledge of members of the historically violent Proud Boys group on the scene, despite researchers and sources in his own department saying otherwise. Okay. While many counter-protesters claimed they were only defending themselves in the brawl, it was not clear if the self-defense claim was asserted in Cohen's case. Her attorney declined to comment on the plea deal. Navid did not respond to additional questions about the appropriateness of the deal, given the severity of the injuries suffered by Cohen's victim. The plea deal appears to be in line with others struck in recent cases of protest violence in LA. Last year, a man linked to right-wing groups who slammed a baton over an independent journalist's head during chaotic demonstrations outside Koreatown Spa, also received probation on charges of assault with a deadly weapon. Okay. So, at least they're being consistent with that. Is that the end of the article? That looks like the end of the article. Yeah, it looks like the end of the article. Cool. So what do you guys think of that? You stab somebody and you get probation. Attempted murder and you get probation. Alright, I had another couple of them here. Alright, got another one for you. Woman avoids jail time in crash that killed Hanford teen. Must be the kid that got killed. Fresno County, California. A plea deal was reached in a deadly March 2022 crash that killed a Hanford teen, allowing the driver to avoid jail time. It's a deal the judge says is appropriate, but the victim's family feels isn't enough. Yeah, I'm sure they don't feel it's enough. I mean, your 14-year-old's dead. Of course, what could be enough, right? As long as I'm here on this earth, I will keep my daughter's memory alive, and that's something you will never be able to take from us, said Rocky Cardona, Marissa's dad. Sniffles and quiet tears broke up the statements made in court Thursday morning by Marissa Cardona's loved ones. The bright light she was is no longer here, said Janette Rodriguez, Marissa's family member. It was taken too soon. It was not her time. Every t-shirt, every sticker shows that she's still alive. And oops, what we got? Oh, get out of here with these stupid ads. Every t-shirt, every sticker shows that she's still alive. In our hearts, she's still alive, said Janine Akhua, Marissa's grandmother. Wearing matching t-shirts, they waited for the sentence to be handed. Nearly a year and a half after the 14-year-old was killed in a car crash. On March 5, 2022, our family's lives changed forever, said Rocky Cardona. That Saturday, Marissa was headed to do something she loved, play softball. That morning, Marissa and her mom, Leticia Cardona, were driving to Clovis for a softball tournament with her high school team. When the pair reached the intersection of Mount Whitney Avenue and Cedar Avenue in Fresno County, they were hit. Ashley Ingren was behind the wheel. California Highway Patrol says she was driving 76 miles per hour and didn't attempt to stop at the stop sign. Marissa died at the scene. Her mother, Leticia, is still recovering from her life-changing injuries. I can't even drive my kids to school, says Leticia Cardona. All the things I used to do, I can't do anymore. And I don't have my daughter, so it's never going to be the same. On Thursday, Ingrid gave her own tearful statement before her sentence was read. I struggle every single day, mentally and physically, knowing that I was the reason a bright, loving, amazing young woman was taken so early in her life, said Ingrid. Ultimately, Ingrid pleaded no contest and was sentenced with a misdemeanor manslaughter without gross negligence. She won't spend any time in jail for the crash. Gentlemen, she won't spend any time in jail for the crash. Do you think if that was you, do you think if it was a man, do you think that you would not be in jail? Seriously. That nothing this court does today will be sufficient, said Stephanie Megan, Fresno County Superior Court judge. That's because I cannot make the Cardonas whole. Instead, Ingin will need to do 360 hours of community service. 360 hours, again, community freaking service. And pay restitution to the Cardona family and fines to the court. In the eyes of the Cardonas, that's not enough. Yeah, no, it's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. Even knowing that she wasn't going to get any time or just a slap on the wrist, said Rocky Cardona. Basically, not taking responsibility. Not taking responsibility. What are we always talking about here in the Manosphere? What are we always talking about here on MGTOW channels? All that we all know what a no contest plea is. Yeah, it's basically I did it, but I'm just going to not really take responsibility. Yeah, that's basically what it is. The courts still need to determine how much Ingrid owes in restitution to the Cardona family. According to their lawyer, the medical bills are already more than $1 million and climbing. As Leticia Cardona continues treatment, the family also filed a civil lawsuit against the county and Ingrid. Yeah, good luck getting that money, guys. Really sorry for the loss of your daughter. That's really a shame. All right, I think that's all of that one. Cool. All right, let's see if we got any comments. I don't think we probably do. It doesn't look like anybody's watching. Wow, 29 minutes. That's pretty good. One more minute is bare minimum what we're shooting for here. Well, I think I'm going to keep going because I still got one more story to do. One more story. This was another one that popped up when I was looking for that first story. This is from ABC 10 Boston, looks like. NBC, excuse me. NBCBoston.com by Mike Pesacaro and Louis Matute. Joan Hurley was sentenced to 2 years probation after changing her plea to guilty for fleeing the scene of a crash that seriously injured a 13-year-old in Acton. An elderly woman who fled the scene after hitting a 13-year-old boy in Acton, Massachusetts, leaving him in a coma, was sentenced to 2 years probation. Once again, 2 years probation. Probation. Now, I get that she's older and probably wouldn't make sense to send her to jail, but still. Are we seeing a pattern here yet? This is not just in California. Not just me bitching about what's going on in my freaking state. This is nationwide. We're in Boston here. Or at least I should say we're in Massachusetts here. Crash happened in November 2022. Cesar Soto Jr., who was 13 at the time, was hospitalized for over a month and a half. Middlesex County District Attorney's Office said Monday that 86-year-old Joan Hurley of Maynard was pleaded guilty in Concord District Court. A judge sentenced her to 2 years probation with conditions that she not drive or contact the victim. Yeah, this young man right here is the victim. While police said about 2 weeks after the crash they had identified the driver, charges were not immediately filed. Soto's mother, Chrysely Tejada, told NBC 10 Boston at the time she was aggravated the police had given her no information about what happened. Well, they usually don't give you... Usually they're not going to tell the victim what they have. I mean, that's not normal procedure. Like you kind of find out in court, I think, right? When I asked the police, they don't have any report for the day, she said after the crash. Okay, well, lady, they don't necessarily report to you. They need to do their job. And their job is, you're not... I'm just saying, they don't work directly for you. So let's X this shit out before it starts playing something else. That's all I'm saying is, they kind of don't necessarily need to give you all the details, but whatever. December of that year, police said they were seeking charges against an 85-year-old woman whose name they did not release. At that point, Tejada questioned why it was taking so long to bring charges, why the driver didn't turn herself in. In a nightmare, Tejada said, "I want justice." Well, that's understandable. It wasn't until March that Hurley would appear in Concord District Court to face charges of leaving the scene of a crash and reckless driving. She pleaded not guilty at the time. Prosecutors showed receipts from the shots of alcohol. Ooh, shots of alcohol. Shots of alcohol Hurley bought before the crash. So, Granny was drinking and driving, apparently. So it would seem. Allegedly. In court Wednesday, Hurley's lawyer argued that she was disoriented, didn't know what happened that night, but Soto isn't buying it. He explained in an interview with Telemundo. I don't know how to read the rest of that. When she hit me, she didn't stop, said Soto, now 14 in Spanish. At least she could stop to call the ambulance or something, but she didn't do anything. He's still not 100% recovered, Tejada added. He's taking physical therapy, occupational therapy, and vision therapy. Yeah, that's understandable. Look, I've been in recovery for not getting hit by a car, but I had a neurological condition that I had to recover from. And yeah, that's a lot of stuff you sometimes have to go through to recover. The family is planning a civil case against Hurley. Yeah, as they should. Toto says that he is undeterred in his dream of becoming a professional basketball player. Well, good luck to you, son. I wish you the best. Definitely, he's better off than that girl that got killed by a hit-and-run driver. Okay, I think that's the end of the story, yeah. Ugh. Looks like that's the end of it. Cool. That was a nice little short one. And we're at 35 minutes. I got one more story I'm going to do, I think, after the intermission that is not related. Totally different story, but it's something I want to talk about. And we're back. That last track was called Arms Dealer. It's on YouTube. It's not hard to find. And the last story we're going to do, unrelated to women at all. Well, to a large extent, it's not related. It's not related to women in probation. It's something else. Where is it? There it is. There it is. All right. This is from California Farm Bureau Ag Alert. Wolf conflicts rise as funding to pay ranchers runs dry. There's one of the little buggers right there. By Ching Lee. Less than a year after the state fully implemented a pilot program to compensate ranchers for livestock losses and other economic impacts caused by wolves, California Department of Fish and Wildlife says it has run out of money. The announcement earlier this month has come as no surprise to ranchers who say that the $3 million allocated for the program does not begin to pay for the rising economic damage created by the presence of wolves, apex predators protected under state and federal endangered species acts. Yeah, we need to see about revisiting the federal part of that. Okay? We need to see about that. I don't know if we can fix it in this state, but the federal part of that needs to go away. Ranchers also expressed frustration with how the program has been administered and managed. Shocker. It's California. you're frustrated with how the program has been administered and managed in California. Some who have received reimbursement checks say they did not get the full amount they applied for, and they don't know why, as the department did not provide a reason or a way for ranchers to dispute the decision. Yeah, that's going to be Social Security, people. That's going to be Social Security in a few years. You're not going to get the full amount you paid in because they stole all the money and they used it for other shit. You know, that's what it is. You know, this is like a small scale version of Social Security. That's what it is. The money's all gone. It hasn't been managed right. It's gone. You're not going to get the full amount. That's just how it is. Others with pending applications said they continue to wait, but they have no idea as to the status of their claims. To mitigate wolf-related costs to ranchers, the legislature authorized funding in the 2021-2022 state budget to establish what is considered the most comprehensive livestock loss compensation program in the country. It pays for a fair market value of confirmed and probable livestock loss due to wolf attacks, use of non-lethal tools to deter wolf depredation. Okay, what would be a non-lethal tool that's going to prevent this, what you guys said, apex predator, from preying on sheep and other things? And production losses associated with wolves being around livestock, also known as pay for presence. This, for the rest of the nation, I say this as a Californian, I'm sorry. We're dumb here. We are freaking dumb in this state. And unfortunately, bad ideas that start here seem to spread and they go to other parts of the country. And I'm sorry for that. I don't vote that way, okay? I'm not the one who's voting for this stuff in, but anytime I have voted, I've been overwhelmingly outvoted, typically. So, I'm sorry for that, but not a lot I can do about it personally, other than I'm exercising my free speech rights, since my voting right doesn't mean shit here. California Department of Fish and Wildlife rolled out the first two parts of the program, compensation for livestock loss and deterrence, in 2022. Pay for presence was implemented last spring. Compensation is retroactive from September 23, 2021 through June 20, 2026, or when funds run out. Well, the funds have run out, so, yeah. In its announcement, the department said that it had received 102 applications and that there may not be enough money to cover future applications. Multiple attempts were made to California Department of Fish and Wildlife for comment, but department officials said they did not have enough time to respond to questions from Ag Alert over a 13-day period. Yeah, don't have enough time, or they just don't want to answer for what they're doing. What do you think? I think they just don't want to answer. In an email, spokesman Peter Tierra said, "Please understand that our wolf program is an extremely high-profile program that receives national and international attention and scrutiny, so we need to make sure that our responses are accurate, complete, and thorough. Considering the state's expanding wolf populations, from the first known wolf pack in Shasta County in 2015 to the 7 confirmed packs today in Lassen, Plumas, Tehamas, and Tulare, ranchers agree more funds are needed as more wolf livestock conflicts occur. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but this kind of compensation doesn't even come close," said Tehama County rancher Billy Rooney, who runs cattle with her husband, Wally, in the forest allotments in Lassen County, where they've had most of their wolf conflicts. Ranchers say direct wolf kills are not the most expensive cost of living with wolves. The greater cost, they say, is the animal's weight loss and poor pregnancy rates due to the stress and being chased around by wolves. Well, yeah, no shit. Being chased by wolves is going to cause problems for your livestock. Gonna get them all stressed out. Was it cortisone, whatever? All sorts of hormones and stuff. It's not good. Add to that the expenses they incur trying to protect their livestock. Rooney said that she and her husband were forced to leave their grazing allotments even though the land had plenty of feed because of wolf conflicts. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter how much feed it's got if you got frickin' apex frickin' predators running around. And you can't do anything about it. In addition to buying extra hay, they also had to pay for hauling and moving their cattle away from the wolves. The couple applied for reimbursement of $49,000 for losses in 2021 and $50,000 for 2022. They received checks for $27,000 and $29,000. Little bit short of what they asked for. Ken Tate, University of California, Davis, specialist in rangeland watershed sciences, said he has heard a lot of complaints. Yeah, no shit. About the compensation program, how the compensation program has been handled. He and Tina Saitoni, UC Davis Rangeland and Livestock economists, are 2 years into a 4-year study quantifying the costs California ranchers incur trying to manage livestock around wolves. He said what limited research time there is from the few states with wolf populations indicates that the direct costs to ranchers are as much as 7.5 times greater than the cost of the animals lost to the wolf kill. Costs are certain to increase as wolf populations grow. He estimated there could be 200 wolves in the state in another decade. I'm surprised that they don't breed faster than that, actually. Current estimates range from at least 30 to fewer than 50. I mean, if they're like rats, I don't think they breed quite that fast, but if they say for every rat you see, they say there's 50 you don't see. That's what they say. So I don't know how it is with wolves, but I'm sure that they probably breed pretty faster than that. Especially if they got a bunch of beef to feed on. Sheesh. Because Tate and Tony, the eggheads. We're going to call them the eggheads because they're from the university. Have been helping ranchers with their compensation applications. Said they knew immediately that $3 million would be spent quickly. You think? With cattle prices at an all-time high, his rough calculation showed all funding would be expended in just a year on the pay for presence claims. He said he thinks more than $2 million of the current funds are going to non-lethal deterrence costs from 2021 to 2022. Based on the egghead estimates, Paul Ruin, a Sierra County rancher and supervisor who serves on the California Cattlemen's Association's Wolf Committee, said the association has asked the state for an annual $15 million to continue funding the program. What was this? How much was it to begin with here? Oh, I saw $3 million. Thought I saw $3 million. Yeah, $3 million. So the ranchers say they need $15 million minimum to keep funding this program, which is a silly program. But, yeah. So far, I think it's falling on deaf ears, he said, yeah. Rowan says he has not been able to apply for compensation for wolf presence because he's considered outside the wolf core areas eligible for reimbursement. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? If they say there's no wolves in your area, even if there are, and they kill your stuff, you don't get to apply for frickin' money. It's ridiculous. Even though there are now 12 documented wolves in his area, with local ranchers dealing with multiple wolf livestock interactions, he said. That's where the frustration is. California Department of Fish and Wildlife won't even commit to how they're going to adjust their areas or what they're doing. They tell you, we do the map once a year. Well, wolves don't just stay in one spot for a year. They sure don't, he said. That was me that said that. And the packs are rapidly expanding, he pointed out. Tate served as a CDFW, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, Stakeholders Advisory Committee during the development of the compensation program. And he said the committee gave the department suggestions on how the program should run. He said he was disappointed when the department dissolved the committee and appeared to ignore his input. Listen to anything anybody said. Tate said they're still having a hard time admitting that wolves are killing cattle. Fucking politicians, man. Fucking bureaucrats, fucking politicians. Oh, wolves aren't killing cattle. Oh, I don't know. Wolves don't kill cattle, do they? I don't know. I don't think they do. Fucking politicians, fucking bureaucrats. Ridiculous, man. Tate said the ranchers and wildlife advocates agree on one priority. There should be more wolves outfitted with GPS collars to get a better handle on their population and whereabouts. One of the 7 documented packs, California Department of Fish and Wildlife has indicated 5 wolves have been collared. Plumas County rancher Brian Kingdon said that he has been dealing with 2 different wolf packs, the Lassen pack in Plumas and Lassen counties, and an unnamed Lassen County pack known locally as the Bayam-Sao pack. The latter is about a few miles from his house, and he can hear them howling at night. I bet that's absolutely terrifying to hear. Go outside on your back deck and hear freaking wolves out there. Because wolves are protected. Again, why? Ranchers are prohibited from killing, harming, or harassing them. Kingdon said he has no recourse when they come near his cattle other than to shine a light at them or get them to leave. Not applied for any compensation for actual wolf kills, noting sometimes calves disappear and they can't be confirmed because they've been fully consumed. Yeah. He received compensation for 2021 and 2022 expenses related to deterrence efforts of wolf presence, but the amounts were about 40% of what he applied for. There was no explanation, he said, and the checks did not indicate which applications they cover. It would be nice to know which years those were, he said, noting that he would need the information when he files his taxes. Yep. Alright, well, I think we've read about enough of that. We're fucking retarded here in California. To the rest of the nation, I'm sorry. We're really dumb in this state. And kind of stuff we do in this state, a lot of state governments end up doing the same kind of dumb shit. And I'm really sorry for that. Personally, I'm doing what I can right now, speaking up against it, calling it out, saying it's dumb. Personally, I can't vote to get rid of this stuff because I vote against it, and 18 people that are going to vote the other way vote against me. It's, oh, wolves, they're so cute. Oh my god. People that don't freaking use their freaking brain. Yeah, but that's another topic for another day. So I think we're going to stop sharing this. Got one more thing to say about that.
Plata o plomo.
Yeah. Yeah. If y'all don't want them farmers doing anything to them wolves, y'all need to pay up. Okay? Otherwise, if you don't have money to pay up.
Plata o plomo.
Allegedly, in Minecraft, of course.
Plata o plomo.
Yeah. Silver or lead.
Plata o plomo.
Yeah. Just saying, it's a possible solution. Allegedly in Minecraft, of course. This channel does not promote violence or any sort of criminal activity. Just saying. And I think that's what we'll call this segment that I just did. We'll call this Plata o Ploma.
Plata o plomo.
Plata o Ploma. Alright, you just learned a little Spanish. You just learned a little bit of Spanish here. Don't say I'm not teaching you nothing. All right. Well, I think that's about enough streaming. Oh, wow. We're almost at an hour. Sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night. Y'all have a good one.